Welcome to SNIP's podcast.
Good morning. Tom Kemp with SNIP Collier. This is our second podcast. We're going to have them every month. Hopefully start doing like 2 a month. And we hope that our audience builds, and we're just going to have discussions on different issues in the county, what SNIP Collier is doing, just things like that. It's very informal. This is our newest. We found him over to Mockley and with a couple other dogs, and he's just scared to death. But I've had him about 2 weeks now, and he's getting to where he'll sit on our laps, and he doesn't try to bite anymore, which he never really bit. He just would mouth things. But I call him Conan. Anybody that adopts him can rename him any way they want. But he's really a good boy. He walks on a leash good. He's house trained as far as I can see at my house. And he likes the camera too. But anyway, so this morning, in a little while, we'll talk about some county issues and enforcement issues. But first, I'd like to introduce Stacy Clark. She's our new office practice manager, and also a very highly respected vet tech. And so she will be running things here from now on. And we're under construction at Immokalee, and hopefully we'll be working on getting staff for that. It's going to be a triage center and a spay and neuter clinic to start with. And so we're going to be working on getting staff for that, because we'd like to be open in late October, early November. So, and then I'd like to introduce Kaylin Gearing. She's our operations manager. And, we had, like I said, we had staff change here. So she's helping Stacy get everything, back where we want it. And so they're going to be interviewed today along with myself. We're just going to have a nice conversation about what's going on with SNIP, some events we got going. So let me turn it over to Stacy for a minute, and she can kind of tell you a little about herself, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so I've been a vet tech for 15 years. I've worked at other spay neuter clinics, and the goal right now is to end animal overpopulation, right? I mean, to the best of our ability. So we're a 501c3 nonprofit, high quality, high volume spay neuter clinic. We follow the ASPCA Humane Alliance spay neuter guidelines as closely as we can. Right now it's just trying to, get veterinarians in, whether they're relief vets or full-time vets. That's the main goal, is to get vets here that, want to help us with the mission. And veterinary technicians as well. So we need to staff Immokalee soon once it opens. So if you guys know anyone, let me know. But yeah, we're really excited to get this started.
Great, Stacey. Thanks. Happy to have you. I'm Kaylin, operations manager, of course. That means a little bit of everything. But what I want to tell you guys about today is that it's going to be an exciting year for us. I know we're halfway through it, but we broke ground in Immokalee for our new spay neuter clinic, animal hospital, etc. In May, and we are set to open hopefully in September, have a grand opening. So stay tuned for that. I don't know if I mentioned it. It's our 10-year anniversary this year. Being a 501c3 nonprofit. So that's great. So lots of things to celebrate that. We have some upcoming events. The Naples Beer and Running Company is hosting a locals only beer run on Saturday, July 26th at 4:45. The deadline is in just a couple days. The deadline to register is July 7th. So if you want to go run and drink beer,
We love
join us.
We love to do that. Our running club helps. A lot of our partners at Gulf Coast Runners will be there, and it's always a good time.
Yep. And then we have coming up Wine Around the Water. We do that every year, and I think we've been doing it 13 years, was it? Or since 2013?
No, we've been doing it about I think 7 years.
Okay, 7 years.
Something like that.
So we've been doing that for 7 years at Village Shops at Venetian Bay. It's a lot of fun. It helps support SNP. The stores offer discounts, or you get a glass of wine everywhere you go, so that's a blast. It's on Saturday, September 27th from 5 to 7. And then we're having our second annual golf tournament at Tiburon on October 17th. And we would love to have people, we're about halfway through with registrations. We'd love people who want to play golf, support a good cause. Come join us for a lot of fun playing golf at Tiburon. You can play individually or get your friends together for a foursome. We also have we also have sponsorship opportunities available. Host sponsors. You can we're looking for our premier sponsor, the big name for the event, to help support us and all the work we're doing here in Collier County. So you can reach out to me about any of that or go to our website, snipcollier.org. And my email is operations@snipcollier.org. And then Mercado in the fall and winter, we'll be back there for Rock the Block, the pumpkin patch, tree lighting, and more events. So just keep posted on our website, our social media, and maybe even Mercado's site for updates on that. And we hope to see you there. And one more thing is we are looking for volunteers to help us. We need help with the clinic sometimes and fundraising and events. Our gala is going to be coming up again early 2026. So we are trying to build a fundraising team to help with these events. Securing raffle items, silent auction items, donors, building relationships with people in the community to help support our cause. So again, if you are interested, we would love to have you, talk with you, and you can email me at operations@snipcollier.org. Thank you, guys. Woo! Yeah.
So let me kind of reiterate what we've done in the field this year, because it's one thing that SNP Collier does that there's nobody else. I mean, that's not true. There's a lot of wonderful feral cat people that go out and trap feral cats and things, and there's a ton of just individual citizens that find stray dogs and bring them and stuff. But we literally go out in the field and look for it. And like this little guy was with a female in a house that I happen to go by a lot and see these dogs. And finally went by and here was some puppies. And the puppies were full of scabs and not very good shape. And there was only 2 left. I'm not sure what happened to the rest. I'm going to guess there was more. And the mom was there. So we stopped and we discussed, helping the puppies, and the guy didn't want help. We asked him if he'd surrender them, and then we'd come back and spay the mom and this one, and he didn't want that. And so that was the end of the conversation, because we've been doing this so long, we know where it's going to go, and he did not want help, and he didn't care about it. So we have and I want the public to know it. I have a new way of working with this, and that's if you're renting a house, I go call the landlord, and I just tell them. And this was in Immokalee, and it was owned by some prominent people there, and so we called the commissioner, and he got a hold of them, and they called us, and we worked with them and got their permission, and they went over there and told the guy, no. You have to work with them. So he just ended up surrendering all of them to us. And we've got the puppies and the mom. We took them to Gulf Coast Humane Society. We work with Gulf Coast Humane Society and Cape Coral a lot. They take a lot of our owners surrender, puppies we find sick, that kind of thing. And so that's how we got these. And it's kind of the same way. If you watch our Facebook page, there was some puppies under a trailer not long ago. And again, we can't just go on a property and do these things. We have to have permission. And so same thing, I called the landlord that owned it and said, we want permission to go get these mom and puppies out from underneath this trailer. And Otherwise, maybe code enforcement would like to see that property, or the health department. And the bottom line is, we were given permission to go and we went and got them. So these are the things that SNIP Collier does out in the field. And this year alone, I think we've brought in approximately 54 strays. And because they're strays, in fact, I'm going to a Mockley this afternoon to get a German Shepherd stray and another, I think 5 more kittens. They'll all have to go to Domestic Animal Service, which is working with us much better than we ever had before. Well, years and years ago, we had a good relationship. Then we didn't, but now we're getting back with that. And so we've taken in about 54 dogs. I can't count how many cats we've taken in. And those are just strays. And right now, probably to date, this year, we've brought in about 130, like sick, injured animals, moms, puppies, owner surrenders that they couldn't get into DS because they're too crowded. And those have gone to Gulf Coast or Cape Coral, most all of them. Some of them are in our fosters. I think we have 2 sets of puppies, I think, in foster right now. And of course, this little guy. So if you're looking for a pet, we got him. But anyway, so that's what SNIP does. And plus, obviously, our spay and neuter clinic. And again, we have a mobile clinic that we take out when we can get a vet to run it. Vets out there listening, call us. And
Yep.
so anyway,
239.
so that's what SNIP's done this year. We also, one of the few rescues that actually go to the county and try to change things. And yesterday I had a very good meeting with, well, actually about a week ago, Kaylin and I were at a meeting with them, with the county, and we had a good meeting. We came up with some different ideas on this hobby, the breeder licenses, and how maybe to more effectively fix the problem of people just having puppies and leaving them outside. That kind of were the ones that we find. And yesterday I met with the county manager, and probably 5 or 6 other people from the county. Don't ask me to name all their names, but anyway, we had a great meeting. Jamie French, Meredith from the DAS, a couple of ladies from code enforcement, and Michael, what's Michael's last name? At the county, I know. Michael, sorry about that. But anyway, Michael Stark. And we had a great meeting yesterday. We're actually going to go in front of the commission on the 8th. And it's going to be about some bullet points on our breeder permits to hold people, like health certificates. Even no matter whether you give them away or sell them, you're going to need to have health certificates on them. And so if you're not willing to do that, I would suggest you not let your animal run loose and get pregnant, because it doesn't matter how you convey ownership. Hopefully that's what's going to be in this thing. And so anyway, we work really hard at that, and we love for people to come to these meetings. And I'm actually trying to get back on the advisory board for Domestic Animal Service. They didn't want me there for quite a few years, but only if they're willing to have the advisory board work on enforcement. You know, help them tweak these ordinances to where we can actually put some teeth into them. And if they'll, some of the board members for the last 4 years have said, "Oh, that's not our in our purview." Well, it is. They all know it. There's written documents saying exactly what's in their purview. I was on the board in 2004 for about 8 years, and that's exactly what we did. We helped write ordinances. Now, of course, they weren't enforced like we want, but at least we were tasked with working with them and doing that. That's what we need to get back to, because the public should have a place to come to vent their frustrations or their ideas. And otherwise, we're just going to have them go to commission meetings. And I don't think anybody wants to fill the commissioner's time and energy with having 20 people in the audience every commission meeting. So if we can get an advisory board that actually works, that's what we need to do. I know that's a lot to take in one speech, but anyway, that's it.
So one thing I wanted to talk about is why it's so important to spay and neuter your pets. So a lot of things that we see here in a high quality, high volume spay neuter clinic is something that's called pyometra. So pyometra is an infected uterus. These animals can die overnight from this, unfortunately. And that's from not being spayed, right? So after each heat cycle that a pet goes through, the lining of their uterus thickens, and it can become a mucometra, a hydrometra, or a pyometra. And that can, make the animal septic. They can die from that, unfortunately. So it's so important to get your pets spayed and neutered. I've seen pyometras in animals under a year, and I've seen them in animals that are 14 years old. And it's really tragic when, it's too late, right? So it's really important to spay and neuter your pet. We really do promote pediatric spay and neuter. And that reasoning is because the incisions are smaller, they have better healing time. It's almost like putting your 80-year-old grandfather into surgery or your 18-year-old son into surgery. The 18-year-old is going to heal a lot quicker, a lot better, and recover a lot easier. So we really do promote pediatric spay neuter at a appropriate age and time for breed specific as well. A lot of people don't want to spay and neuter their pets when they're large breed dogs, and that's a controversial thing in the spay neuter community. But we always consult with our veterinarian, and make sure that we do the right thing for the animal.
And that's part of what we basically raise money for, is because we offer these services at a low cost to the public. I mean, there have been cases where an animal does have a pyometra and they need surgery, but they get a bill of how much? An estimate of.
I've seen them anywhere from $2,000 to $7,000.
Yeah, at another vet, and they just can't do it. So we offer a much cheaper service. I think that we had a Chihuahua we did a pyo on, and I think it was probably, I don't want to misquote, but around $500.
Yeah,
$500 instead of $1,000 or more. So that's really again what we're here for. What we also raise money for, to be able to help those people that need it and provide those services to the public and the education and awareness for those things.
Yeah, we recently had a pyometra come in, a large breed dog, and she wasn't even able to walk. She couldn't walk, she couldn't stand, she was declining quickly. We got her into surgery immediately, and she was a little sassy, and so she was ready to fight the staff on the way out, walking out the door. So I mean, it really is all timing with these dogs, and it's really important to get them in as soon as possible. Veterinarians have a saying of "Don't let the sun set on a pyo," and that's because they know that it doesn't matter whether it's last week or yesterday. When you know that the diagnosis is there and they have a pyometra, you got to get them in right away. So really, really important. Spay and neuter your pets.
My name's Asia. So I help run our foster and adoption program here at SNIP Collier. A lot of people know that SNIP is primary practice for spay and neuter, but we also do a lot of rescues. I believe since October of 2024, we have adopted out over 50 animals, which is pretty amazing. Our founder, Tom Kep, he's out there rescuing dogs, rescuing cats, answering his phone all day long. He's really hands-on in helping these animals have their happy ending, and it's super, super important. Typically, when we get rescues, we have them come in, we find fosters for them immediately. Thank you so much to all of our fosters. You guys are lifesavers. Fostering truly saves lives. Once puppies and cats are spayed and neutered, they can go to their forever homes. We do a pretty thorough application process for our animals to make sure that they go into happy, healthy homes, and they don't end back up on the streets or in shelters. And it's really amazing work that SNIP does in the rescue world. We appreciate Tom so much for being out there, boots on the ground, and changing these animals' lives.
Asia's been doing this for quite a while for us, and we really appreciate it. So right now we have in foster, we got a mom and two little puppies that, what are they, probably a couple weeks old now?
3 weeks old,
Yeah. And then we have another mom with 7 puppies over at our friend Candace at her house, and they're probably about 5 weeks old or something. I don't know. They were ones that we got out from underneath the trailer. The other one was a owner surrender, and she was very pregnant, and so we went ahead and let her. Again, there's always been some controversy on, oh, we should have. And I'll just tell you how we feel. We have controversy sometimes about, say, a pregnant dog comes in, and people say, oh, we should just abort the puppies. Well, my philosophy, and we've had some discussions here with vets, is if they're really far along, I see no reason to do it, because I can find that we can spay and neuter them. I feel that if somebody wants a puppy, they're going to go get one. And I'd rather have them get one that's spay and neutered and healthy, and which you can go to Gulf Coast Humane Society and get them like that. You can go to DAS and get them like that. You can go to Cape Coral and get them like that. But I just feel that there's no reason to abort them if they're really far along. If they're not, that's a different story, because we can get them healthy. They fill a void. So these people, if they adopt one of these animals and it does get loose for some reason, because it happens, or maybe they just let it go out in the yard, it's not going to get pregnant. And that's what we're trying to avoid. People have said to me, well, that's hypocritical because you don't do with the cats. Well, when we do feral cats, unfortunately, there are no homes for the kittens. I mean, right today, like I said previously, I'm probably going to go pick up 5 or 6 more kittens. Yesterday, I think I got 4, or the day before. They went to Gulf Coast. So the problem is, it's not that we enjoy doing that, obviously, but there are no homes for these kittens. So we do surgeries pretty much up until the last minute. And again, if we could get a handle on it through more people participating in our trap and release programs, then maybe we could change that policy. But right now, there's just so many that are, I mean, every day I get calls for them that are injured or sick. There's little kittens that are just, dying out in the street. And until we get a handle on it, it's a necessity. But anyway, so Asia does that, and you can explain a little bit to how the process works and how we get them all cap-starred and that kind of stuff before.
Yeah,
but anyway.
yeah. I mean, Tom will give us a call and say, or give Stacy, our practice manager, a call and say, hey, I picked up this dog. Can you guys do an intake exam? Obviously, depending on the health of the animal, there are certain things that are out of our scope of practice. And we do have great, vet rescue partners that are more than willing to help us out if we need. They come in, we do a full intake, necessary vaccinations, Capstar for fleas, dewormer. We have a great list of fosters that we call and text and say, hey, are you available to take on this dog? They give us a yes or no answer. We have great success rate with finding fosters, and typically, they'll stay with the foster for a couple weeks, couple months, depending on the age of the animal. We do not usually adopt out animals who are not spayed and neutered, so that's always something that super important. But like I said earlier, since October of 2024, we've had over 50 animals be rescued and adopted and find amazing homes, never return to us. And that's life-changing for these guys. And a lot of these guys come from really not great conditions, whether they're malnourished, neglected, broken legs, ringworm, I mean, you name it. And most of the time they have it. So, what we do outside of the clinic is just as important as what we do inside of the clinic. And Tom really makes a huge difference out there. He gets calls every day about people needing help, and 9 times out of 10, he's out there helping them. So we appreciate all the work you do.
Well, thank you. Here again, the thing I don't want this isn't about me. It's about SNIP Collier. And you got to remember, every time I sometimes get people say, oh, these people out in Immokalee or out in the rural areas. Well, the way I find probably 90% of these animals is someone will call me and tell me about, oh, somebody down the street's got these animals chained up or this or that. And so there's a lot of people that are help us a lot out there, and our staff and our volunteers. That's what it's about. But I appreciate that. But again, it's, I can't do it. It takes a village, and I can't do it without our donors. if we didn't have donors and people supporting our Helping Paws Medical Fund and our building out in Immokalee, we couldn't be doing any of this. So thank you guys so much. And again, I guess we're kind of getting to the end of this for today, but thanks to everybody that helps us, donors, people that help us with our galas and our golf tournaments and come to Mikado, and our staff. Thank all of you.
Thank you
And
guys. We appreciate you.
you have a wonderful 4th of July, and we're out of here. Thank you.